topics for the enlightened being.
Mm.
Those who are ready to listen, it will resonate. And we will be talking about feng shui, we'll be talking about intuition, we'll be talking about the elements of that enlightened being to get your frequency to rise to the next level.
Hi, I'm Anicia,
And I'm Grace.
and we are co-creators in harmonic co-creation. And this is our podcast, The Enlightened Being.
Okay, what does it truly mean to be an enlightened being? To have balance between mind, body, and soul, that heart and mind what do you call that? Cohesiveness,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And with this podcast, the Enlightened Being Podcast, we will cover and discover new ways to get you to that level of enlightenment, okay? Which covers the body, which covers the mind, which covers the soul.
That's magic.
And we will be covering your environment as well to see how the energy flows to you, through you, and around you. Girl,
Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? Or maybe you've wondered why some areas of your home leave you feeling drained, while others feel like a sanctuary. Today, we're diving into the world of Feng Shui, a timeless practice that helps us create balance, harmony, and flow in the spaces we live, work, and rest in. Whether you're a total beginner or curious to deepen your understanding, this episode is filled with practical gems and energetic insights. So grab your tea, get comfy, and let's open the door to a more aligned, intentional way of living with our guest, Grace Charles. All right, today I am interviewing Miss Grace Charles, who is a co-creator in harmonic co-creation with me. She's my business partner, a powerhouse personal coaching leader. She has written books, and we're planning a retreat together. And I'm super excited to share with you the information that she has for us today.
thank you for having me. I'm enjoying this journey with harmonic co-creation, and things are going smoothly, and we're welcoming those who are ready to receive the information that we have to give to kind of come join us on that journey and see how fantastic it could be for you, understanding how things work with the universe, especially feng shui style.
Yes. Okay, so what first drew you to the practice of Feng Shui, and how has it transformed your life personally?
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? Well, it started with my friend, Victoria Whitfield.
Mm.
She she's amazing, by the way. I should tag her on this so she could know how good she is. Yeah, she was doing this challenge actually. I think it was back like maybe 8 years, 10 years ago. And she was doing this challenge, and then she was talking about the abundance corner. But that was just a small part of her big thing, because she talks about grounding, she talks about all this other stuff. But she had this little part and where she talked about feng shui and the abundance corner. And I was like, okay, well, it was going from one ear and out the other, right? Until until I realized, like, oh my God. Because here's I have a story for you. My son, okay, when we moved into this apartment, this was like many, many years ago, right? We moved into this space because we left New York. We moved into this space because it was just me, and I had two bathrooms, right? And I had one bathroom, which is a guest bathroom, across the hall. And then I had my own bathroom where I would go through the closet to get to the bathroom, right? And the closet doors were always open. Not the closet, but the bathroom door was always open. My closet door was always open to the bathroom because, I gotta like dash. And I don't have time to be picking up seats. So, everything was open. The doors were open, the toilet seats were up, and not all the way up like the men use it, but just, for me to just the lid. So with that said, that was a way of life for me. That was a thing. But I started looking at it at a different point of view, right? It's like my ex-husband, right? My name was on the car. I was getting tickets left and right. And my son, who purchased a car off some auction online, purchased a lemon. So every time he drove to see me from college, I would have to pay like $1,200 for some kind of repair on the car for him to get back to school. And every time he came, it was a big expense, right? So I started to analyze and kind of see things and look at things and see like what is happening here. So when they say that your money is going down the toilet, they mean the energy that is flowing through your home, especially if it's coming from the bathroom. It's that negative energy. And you're not literally, well, you may be literally, but they're saying that things will happen things will happen for you to spend money. Don't you ever realize that you get paid and it's like money's gone? You don't even know what the heck happened to it. Well, yeah, check yourself. Check. And if your bathroom happens to be in your abundance corner, oh, you're screwed. Unless you know how to fix that. But the first thing to do is to start with toilet seat down, bathroom door closed. We'll get into colors later and how the color of the bathroom can kind of like neutralize the negative energy and what you can do to kind of like spruce it up, bring it up, and change that energy. But there's a lot that goes on into feng shui. People don't understand what's happening around them. It's the energy in your space. But enough of that. It was Victoria. She got me into that from me just thinking because when I started to look at things and notice things, then I was like, okay. And I started to close my bathroom doors, both of them, and put the toilet seat down. Tickets stopped coming. My son bought a brand new car. And it's like all these things that I was spending money on, like there would be like the car would have a flat tire, something would be happening that I would have to spend money on. And every month I was paying all of my kids' credit cards because they were all in college. But by the time I closed that door, everybody was picking up their own bills. Everybody was doing their own thing. They had their own money. And I didn't have to do a thing. And I finally looked at my account. I said, oh, wow.
Wow, that's really cool because literally the money stopped going down the drain.
Exactly.
That's
When you close,
that's
yes.
really cool. That's awesome. So for someone that's completely new, how would you describe feng shui in a way that feels approachable and modern?
Feng Shui is more like how the energy flows through your home, right? Um, everything is energy. Everything is in motion and everything moves, right? And Feng Shui is sort of like the hidden secret to understanding. And the Chinese knew it, the Asians, they all do feng shui. You'll go to these nail salons, you'll see that little red yes, yes, you see, they know. But, it takes some ability to be open-minded. Okay, because some people were brought up in a certain way and certain things just don't ring a bell and they're not open to it. But you have to be open to understanding what is happening to your environment. What is happening around you? What is the energy saying to you? And so, yeah, the best thing to do would be to stay open and to understand that energy moves and you have that ability to control it. You have that ability to redirect the energy to make sure you're getting what it is out of your home that you need.
So is feng shui more about the energy, or is it more about your mindset, or is it a combination between both of them?
Well, it's more about the energy and how it flows. The mindset also plays a part. Okay, if you understand that this is your space,
Mm.
right? This is your space and you will have it however you want. Your mindset has to be in a certain level of understanding to know how to shift, to know how to shift things around, to have things work out for you. Yeah.
That's really good. So, what are some of the biggest feng shui mistakes that people unknowingly make in their homes?
Oh, well, the bathrooms. Okay, that's the first thing. The bathrooms, um, now, here's the thing. Another reason for keeping the toilet seat down too is because when you flush the toilet, like all that bacteria and germs, if your toilet seat is up, then it just like it just flows up. Imagine having a toothbrush like right there.
Mhm,
What are you brushing
mhm.
your teeth with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
Yeah. And also, like your front door. Your front door is supposed to be inviting. Okay, when opportunity knocks, you should
mm,
be ready. If your front door has shoes facing left and right, nothing is organized. You've got bags on the floor. You've got, like, it's so disorganized. Well, so will the rest of your life be.
mm,
Okay? The way the energy works, it pertains to your life and how the energy works around your house and your family. Your family is also involved
mhm,
because there are certain corners in the house, the east, the west, the north, south, all of them. There are eight, three, six, nine section actually. One of them affects your oldest son. One of them affects your oldest daughter. One of them affects the second, the third. Okay?
mhm,
So it's like the way things are positioned in your home also determines the kind of luck
mhm,
or blessings
mhm.
or however you want to call it, how your life will go.
Wow, so there's a science to it.
Oh, yes, there is, most
Oh, wow.
definitely.
So can you share some few simple, like beginner friendly ways for someone to implement or get started with feng shui?
Well, I would say first, declutter.
Okay.
Okay. If you have clutter anywhere, declutter. If you have laundry, like laundry baskets full of laundry, first of all, those things have to be washed and put away because you don't want, it's like if you have a piled up mess in your laundry room or you have a piled up mess in your front door or you're calling in like negative energy. It's
Mm,
not that nothing is coming through if you don't do it. If you do it, you get that positive flow. But if you don't do it, you're bringing in negative energy. You're bringing in the stuff that you don't really want,
mhm.
you know? So I would say the first thing to do is declutter.
Okay.
Second to do is make sure you don't have any dishes in your sink because, dirty laundry, dirty dishes, all these things affect the mind. You don't you realize like when your house is clean, how do you feel?
Good. Good.
Feels really good,
Hmm.
right? But when your house is clean and you understand where each type of energy is, because there's a certain corner in a certain place that there are like there's this there's this one called the three killings. Okay?
Hmm.
Have you ever noticed that if one person passes and then there's another and a third, it's
Mm,
always in threes. So I always make sure that corner, that anyway, that's another thing. I don't like to talk about
hmm.
the negative energies that flow through the house,
Hmm.
but you need to make sure your stuff is in order. There's a certain, like for 2025, the illness, okay, the illness star is in the center of the home,
Hmm.
right? So there are ways to cure that. I use the salt water cure.
Hmm.
So that way no one in the family gets sick.
Hmm.
Okay, so people don't understand what's happening. They're like, why is this happening? Yeah, look at your house,
Hmm.
look at your space, see what's happening, and then you'll understand what's going on.
Okay, so the first thing that they can do, like a simple way, like clean, is cleaning,
Cleaning.
decluttering and cleaning their home.
Yes.
Okay, that's really good. So, are there some key feng shui principles that we can apply to our workspaces or our creative studios?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did have a list of them. I would say, keep your entrance clean. Keep your front door clear. Make sure everything is inviting when because the energy flows through.
Mhm.
So make sure it's inviting. Your lighting, clarity. Light bring clarity. They bring not, you see when you see the head, sometimes you see like a light bulb.
Mhm, mhm,
Yes, the lighting in your home is important. Your
mm,
windows, right? If the window is foggy,
mm,
not foggy, but like dusty and dirty, it's like you want it clean and clear because you want that creativity to flow through. Your house is not just a house, it's your environment. It's part of who you are. It's part of what you're calling towards yourself, you know?
mhm,
And I would say have a lot of like good luck symbols. And yeah, I know for me, it's not about luck, it's about blessings.
mhm,
And a blessing for me is knowing exactly where and what not to put in my house.
mhm,
But if you are if you are doing feng shui as you should,
mhm,
you would know that there are certain parts of your household where it's best if you're a student to sit and study. There are certain parts that bring you good luck. There are certain parts that bring you good fortune. There's certain parts that bring you like great relationships, mentorships, travel, things like that.
mhm,
So when I say by good luck, it's like, for instance, fruit bowls, a bowl of real fruit,
mhm,
like with pineapple, lemon, orange, apples, grapes. All of these fruits, they have a symbolism. Like the pineapple brings luck.
mhm,
An apple is friendship, depend on the green apple or the red apple,
mhm.
the lime, the lemons, every single one of them. Peaches, grapes means multiple friends, multiple people coming to you. So again, there's so much to learn about feng
Wow.
shui,
Mhm.
and you can set your space by just putting in a bowl of fruit
Wow.
or just putting in like a small table water fountain, like a little fountain, because water represents wealth, right?
Mm,
Water, like what the wealth is flowing, the wealth it flows. You don't want just water to sit still.
mhm,
There's no movement, right? It has to flow, but it depends on where you're putting it. The energy shifts every year.
mhm,
So where you put it is very important. Right now, southwest,
mhm,
the southwest end is where there should be water fountain to bring in that energy of abundance,
mhm.
you know. But yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Um, that's really awesome. So, can the arrangement of our home or workspace actually affect our relationships or our, I know you talked a little bit about the financial flow with the fountain, but can it affect your relationships?
Yeah, yeah. Let's say this for a minute. In your relationship corner, right? According to the Feng Shui Bagua, in your relationship corner, there are certain colors you cannot use. If you use peach, then your significant other will cheat. There's a lot that's going on. There's certain colors you shouldn't use. And if you're single and you have a nightstand, you will continue to be single because in your relationship corner, everything should come in two. The only thing that should be one is the bed. You should have two nightstands. If you have a chair, you should have two chairs.
Mhm.
Everything should be in two. So
Wow, so that's amazing. So even the things that you have in your home need reflect how you want to align your relationships and
exactly.
what you're bringing into your relationships.
Exactly. That's part of manifesting, and people don't understand that. They think all you have to do is just sit there and hum and go within, but
Mhm.
you gotta fix what's around you too, because you know what's on the inside is what is reflected on the outside. So if your outside is like in shambles and chaos, then, well, what's that a reflecting of? Like, what are you manifesting? What are you
Mhm.
doing for yourself? So you have to fix both the inside and the outside
Mhm.
because, again, the outside is a reflection of what's going on in the inside. So fix the outside, the inside will fix itself.
Okay, so how would, with everything that you're talking about and all the details, and I know that there's a science to it, there's a map that you talked about as well. Um, how would someone be able to learn more, to get in touch with you, to maybe implement some of those specific things, or maybe even have a training or course? How would someone be able to reach out to you to have that?
Before you, before we go there, I have a thought. I forgot to tell you because you were talking about, the home and its effect on the body itself. If you have, like, for instance, you're in your kitchen and your stove is broken, like one of the gas lighting isn't working, well, that's kind of, there's a flow, there's like a missing flow there. And also, like, for instance, in your tub, and that's why I was upset about my
Mhm.
my my the shower handle. If your tub, if all of the um what's the word I'm looking for? All of the, like, the tub, the toilet, the sink, if any of them are not working, you
Mhm.
need to get it fixed immediately, especially your tub,
Mhm.
because depending on where your bathroom is, it could affect the flow of abundance in one of your kids, right? Somebody's job will be this, somebody will be, not, instead of getting that raise, they'll get a demotion or whatever is happening at
Mhm.
the time. But make sure that everything is flowing the way it should, all the stove, and don't just use the front two. Use all of them, rotate them because everything needs to work.
Mhm.
This is a lot of information. I understand that. And this is like another phenomenon in itself.
Mhm. Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and mirrors too. Mirrors double everything. And what I say is don't ever put a mirror on the foot of your bed because that mirror is watching YouTube, right?
Mhm.
And it multiplies.
Mhm.
So you become four.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Another relationship breaker right there. Mirror in your bedroom.
Mhm.
All right. Now, place the mirror on the foot of a single individual. You think you double that into two? No. What it does is because you're single and because that emotion that you're feeling of your singleness, your loneliness, you will continue to be lonely and it will multiply the loneliness.
Mhm.
But yes, so back to what you just asked, I could be reached at connect at
HarmonicCocreation.com. Yes.
exactly, yes. And then, you just send me an email and I will respond.
Okay. That's awesome. And thank you so much for sharing that information with us. I'm super excited to see what courses and training that you have coming up on that. I know we talked about that. So for all of our listeners, stay tuned and sign up for the Feng Shui classes and the books when they come out. If you would like to keep in touch with us and all the events that we have going on, go to www.harmoniccocreation.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Enlightened Being Podcast. This is Anicia and Grace.
Yay!